Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok. There's a link in the description below. Well, we haven't gotten news like this in a while. This is kind of a little bit different. This normally, alwaysly revolves around Bitcoin. This one's about Ethereum. So for whatever the actual reason might be, I know what it is, but whatever the actual reason might be, a lot of people in the last, and I want to say the last year specifically as well, and also a lot of Bitcoin maximalists have been doing it, have continuously been pretending that for some reason that Ethereum isn't popular, isn't the most used blockchain on the planet, and just kind of is like this throwaway chain that no one really cares about. A lot of the news, as I've been going over with all of you, has consistently been about the outflows from Ethereum ETFs. For those of you who've missed it, nearly every day there's some kind of like positive news about like Bitcoin ETFs and how much money they're holding and how much more money they're holding. Even if there are outflows, they'll find a silver lining and discuss how awesome it is that we even have them. We had 8 days of outflows, but it's still amazing now we got them in the first place. For Ethereum, if there's $3 million worth of outflow, $3 million, the news that day will be completely negative. Is Ethereum over? Is there just no interest? Is no one buying them anymore? Well, I mean, Solana needs an ETF, so that's the thing. And it's constant. It's in like a literal cycle that we've been getting over and over. In between that stupid news, I'll call it stupid news. In between that news, we've been getting a lot of like Ether accumulation news stories because it's also happening a lot as well. The amount of Ether, as we heard over the summer on crypto exchanges, continues to dwindle. It's like around 1 in every 10 coins. That's it. That's all that there actually is left to buy. The amount of inflows, here we go, for ETFs as well is also like quite significant because for those of you who missed it, Ethereum has a very small inflationary supply. Usually it gets burned, but even if it does not due to slower economic activity on chain, I think it takes around, it's 40 or 50 million. That might even be too high to buy the entire year's 1 year supply of minted Ethereum. And when we first got the ETFs, I think in the first 5 days, they had already absorbed 3 years worth of Ether being mined. But that also, you had to find it because everyone wants you to think super negative of Ethereum and that nothing's actually going on and so and so and so. Now we slide on over to the whales. We've had a lot of Bitcoin whale news over the course of the last couple of forever. Whales are constantly buying more Bitcoin and they actually hold more than 90% of all Bitcoin that actually exists. Fun, right? Yeah, because they've been buying, especially, or rather, doesn't matter when, prices are higher or prices are lower. There are 3 main on-chain analytics companies. They are Sentiment, Into the Block, and Sentiment, Chainalysis, Into the Block. Nailed it. And this is from Into the Block, where they basically are going over on-chain data to see what's happening with each coin, how much usage they have, who's buying them, where the coins are going. Why we explicitly need this information, we typically don't, but it does actually give us a big window into what's happening to these chains. Anywho, Into the Block has released data, and we have now found out that nearly half of all Ether in existence is now being held by whales. Surprise! Crazy, right? You know who's holding the other half? It's retail. And can you guess what's been happening over the course of the last 2 years with the shift from retail to the whales? I'll give you one hint. It's pretty skewed. it's leaning to one side. Yeah, retail has been selling. They even gave the actual categories of retail, investors, and whales. And they said that investors actually... So how do I explain this? Whales are big, rich things who are buying, who haven't relinquished their holdings or to continue to buy more. Investors is actually like a sliver in the middle, which you wouldn't expect. And then there's retail. Retail, they get into the market. And even from the actual thing here, it says retail includes the smallest hands in the sector. Wow. And these holdings wow, is that English? Someone wrote this article wrong. Basically, people holding less than 0.1% of the ether supply that's actually in circulation. For some reason, retail investors continue to sell off their holdings. But this is also a common trend that we've gone over for a while. I'm not going to rant, I promise. I'm going to do my best. As we've seen over the last couple of months it's not even whatever the reason is. People who are getting into the market are expecting really fast, quick ways to make money. When they're not making instantaneous millions overnight, they're leaving the market. And when you sell your coins, you sell them to BlackRock, you sell them to the ETFs, and you sell them to investors and whales. That's how the market works. It happens every single cycle, over and over and over. But now we're getting indications that Ethereum might go to 15,000 per coin, 25,000 per coin. By the year 2030, we might have a $100,000 Ether. So the wealthiest people are buying up all these coins. We're seeing in the article, they talk about the actual shift that's happening daily from, I don't want to say the poor to the rich, but people who don't have a lot of crypto to those who have a lot of crypto. There are a lot of Ether whales who over the course of this year have been buying, even before we had the ETF, just been buying up large amounts every single day. The issue is that we normally only tend to get a lot of Bitcoin news. Bitcoin tends to be like, it's the number one coin, so it ends up being the most popular. So we end up hearing how many whales are buying up Bitcoin, and people keep pretending that Ethereum's not doing amazingly gigantic things as well. At this rate, in 2 to 3 years, we will probably also see around 80 to 90%, if not sooner, of all Ether is just being held by whales and rich people and entities and governments and ETF issuers, because that seems to be the generalized trend. Yeah. Nearly 50% of all Ether is now being held by whales. These are the people who are probably also staking all of their coins. For those of you who missed that news story, I mean, it was the beginning of the year. We had news that I believe 9% of all Ether was being staked. So 9%, cool. Then that went to 12%, then that went to 20-something%. And the last percentage that we had was 33%. The more Ether you have, the more Ether you make. And you basically get passive income for life by accumulating these staking coins. And that's what these companies are doing. The idea is to not have to work, to kind of have money just literally go to you for doing absolutely nothing. That's the power of being in the market early. If you got into the market years ago, you should have a significant amount of crypto that's going to continue making you money and will continue to help you build wealth. Then the other side of it is, if you're just getting into the market, guess what? The market's only been around for 15 years, not 35 years, not 47, not 60 years. You are an early adopter. You have the chance to be able to accumulate these coins and to accumulate wealth and assets that are going to rise in value. You know, the problem, though, is that the only people who are selling are retail. The people who would benefit the most from these markets. We get news from these on-chain analytic companies all the time that the only people who are selling are the only people who can't afford homes, who can't buy assets, who don't have any money. Their money's in crypto. The prices go down. We've had multiple articles. The prices go, they said 4% of a drop is enough for people to leave the market for good. Gone. Close the door. They sell those coins And do you know who ends up buying up those coins? We get the news all the time. It's investors, and it's whales, and it's people who are buying large amounts of coins to hold them forever, to make them passive income so that I'm sure these people already don't have to work, but they're like solidifying that fact. So September, October, I said November, we're probably going to hear that there's like a good 55, maybe 60% of ethers now just being held by whales, because the number is going to continue going down for retail investors, especially as you are constantly lied to and you keep buying these other crappy coins that all the other YouTubers keep telling you to buy because they're going to go up by 18,000%. The ones that I told you not to buy in January that have all disappeared. Anywho, hope you got something from the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, we're watching the wealth transfer. I keep saying it nearly every video, and I see people like posting these like the eye rolling emojis, and I'm like, you'll see. Like you will understand everything that I'm saying, but it's going to be too late. And then you're going to be desperate when the next bear cycle hits to buy up as much crypto as possible, because you'll be waiting for the next bull run, because you'll finally understand the words that I'm saying. Everything that I'm telling you is just logic. The things that I've gone through, the things that I've seen. But now we're seeing it on a more rapid scale. So for those of you who listen, see you on a yacht on the other side. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.